Every now and then we come across some or the other manufacturer who launches a scrambler into our market. Scramblers are a pretty subjective motorcycles and quite utilitarian. They had only one purpose, which was going off the roads when the roads ended. Today let's have a look at how scramblers were made and how their existence came into being. Hello everyone, my name is Anurag and welcome to another episode of Mad About Custom. It was somewhere on the onset of the 20th century. Motorcycles had become quite a rage, and almost every house had one. Motorcycles back then varied from the engine sizes, ranging from 100cc to 400cc and somewhere upwards of that as well. Most of these motorcycles were made to go on the road, and some of these were made to go pretty fast back considering the time these guys were invented. It was then a couple of crazy people who gave a thought that what happens when the road ends? What happens when you take them off the road? So, this is when a couple of Englishmen set out to modify their motorcycles so that they can be taken off the road, and thus began a new form of racing. These blokes preferred to be fast and never paid any heed to the rules. Essentially, going off road meant the bikes had to have a couple of compulsory things like high mounted exhaust for the times when you would be crossing roads, rivers, streams, and whatnot. Short seats, which allows to reduce any unnecessary clutters. These bikes needed to have torque instead of top high-end speed. The stock tires had to be replaced with big tires with knobs to get over sand and any other obstacles that the road presented. Even the headlights were reduced to a bare minimum to light up the road and reduce the weight. And this is exactly how the scramblers were born. Scramblers were essentially your road going bikes, which were modified in a way to go off the road. So these guys welded, chopped, and did whatever which was necessary to their street bikes that became a bit more savage than your regular bikes. The stock tires were replaced with knobby tires, the unnecessary parts were taken off, some installed taller suspensions, and some even windscreens. The list went on and on and on. Now, as time went by, scramblers had gained immense popularity in the 1960s, and there were scramble races introduced back then, which were official off-road racing circuits. Seeing this, a lot of manufacturers jumped the wagon. Manufacturers like Honda, Triumph, and a few others began offering scrambler models directly from their showrooms. Then there were a few like Steve McQueen who performed some amazing feats over the scramblers, which in turn pushed the popularity even more. Scramblers, unfortunately, were considered as old bikes. These bikes were slowly replaced by dirt bikes and motocross bikes. As the dirt bikes had longer travel suspension, were lighter, and had insane power to weight ratios, scramblers eventually started to fade out. Are scramblers making a comeback? As seen earlier, scramblers were existing since quite some time and now recently have made a major comeback. The technology back then limited the modifications of the bike to make it more off-road compliant. A modern scrambler now has longer travel suspension, better tires, and some of them even have a traction control mode. Triumph was one of the first to introduce a scrambler back in 2006, which became an instant hit, and other manufacturers like Ducati followed. Nowadays, scramblers are picking up again, especially with the young generation in the custom bike scenario. Let us know in the comments section below which is your favorite scrambler and what do you like about it.